All right. This is Felicia Moore, your host for Realty Resources and Reality Today. We have 5 of the top 10 essential tips for a smooth transition after selling your home. You don't want to miss these tips. We'll be right back. Moving made easy. Yeah, it can be easy, or you can stress yourself out. And that's why we at Exit Realty West Midtown want to be your resource and bring you information you can use. Because if you have the information and you make the preparation, the stress level will be little and maybe even none. So, this show is Moving Made Easy 10 Essential Tips for a Smooth Transition After Selling Your Home. So, this is going to be part one. We're going to go through 5. And in part 2, which will be our next show, we'll talk about choosing the right services and reducing moving expenses. In this show, we're going to talk about preparing for the move and avoiding scams. You know, I cannot stand a scam, and I always want to give you tips on that. But first, I also want to ask you, as I always do, to hit that thumbs up button, like the show, share it with someone that you may know who is just sold a home and is moving, or is just moving in general. There are tips here for everyone. Please like, share, and all of you subscribe, because that helps us to get the information out to others. And if you have any questions or good show and story ideas, I also ask and encourage you to reach out to me. You might just have a real estate question. We're here for the answer. It doesn't cost you to ask, and we won't charge you to answer. That's just our community service here at Exit Realty West Midtown. You can reach out to me at Ask Felicia at exitwestmidtown.com, or you can text me to Ask Felicia at 85377. Would love to hear from you. Love to come out and speak to you. Maybe 4 or 5 friends you might want to have over, because I have tips on how to protect your property. Or you may want me to come to your church, neighborhood group, whatever. I'm available. That's what we do here at Exit Realty West Midtown. So let's get to it. Moving Made Easy, 10 essential tips for a smooth transition after selling your home. Last month, we talked about those things that you would need to do or should do if you're selling your home to make sure that you get the most out of selling your home and make sure you get the best price for your home. So now we've done all that. It's time to get out of here. You may be moving locally within the city, or you may be moving nationally. You may be going some other places. There's a whole lot that you need to know. I'm just going to give you some of the basics. I always encourage people to do more detailed research. In these days and times, you could just ask Google, you can ask wherever you go, anything, and you should be able to get some information. So let's start with number 1. We want to prepare and move and avoid scams. So number 1 is creating a moving plan and timeline. One thing you will see me say and do, and the reason why I do these shows, is because people do not adequately plan. If you plan for something, you have a better, less stressful way of getting it done than if you don't. So let's talk about organizing the task. What are the things that you're going to need to do? In a previous show, I talked about how you can pack up to move. There are things that you can do, and you can Google more about how you organize those tasks, get those boxes filled. Make a list of things that you know that you're going to need to do, and go and use all of the resources that are out there that can give you checklists of what you can do and what you're going to need to do so you can better organize those tasks. You can put them on your calendar. You can set deadlines like I need to know what moving company I'm going to have by this date. I need to make sure that I've signed my lease if I'm leasing or I've purchased the house. You really need to plan this out by calendar. Now, of course, you wonder, well, is everything going to happen that day or the day that I say? Maybe, maybe not. But you have a better chance of a less stressful move if you plan out or at least have in your mind that checklist to reduce your moving costs and save you time and money. Because I guarantee you, if you try to do something last minute, it's going to cost you more money. Number two, back to that favorite thing about decluttering and downsizing before you start packing. Oh boy, I wish I had done that. I know when I moved from my first home to my second home, I kept promising myself I wasn't going to take all that stuff with me, and I didn't do a good job. I finally got to the point where time ran out, and I had to pack up that stuff and bring it with me. I'm still trying to get rid of some of that stuff today. I still feel like I'm just moving in the house because those are the boxes of all those things that you need. So save yourself. I'm telling you firsthand, do not take clutter things that you know that you're not going to need, you're not going to get to. Don't take boxes that are going to be empty and bring them to your new location. If nothing else, put them in storage because that'll force you to think about them and getting them cleared out so you don't have to keep spending that storage space. But please make sure you sell. There's a lot of things you can sell, and you can start now. There's the Let's Go. There's all kind of places where you can sell it, even on your front lawn or flea markets or whatever. You can sell things so you can get a little cash. You can be generous and donate. There are great organizations out here you can donate to. Goodwill is a great one. They're not the only one, but there are places who can take your information. Inspire, I think, is one of them. They will donate those items to people who are homeless that are just getting homes, maybe need some household goods, whatever. But just get it out of the house and then throw it away. Yeah, you got to throw it away if you no longer need it or no one else can use it. This will reduce your moving costs as well because you're not going to be taking more boxes than you need because they're going to be charging you based on how much they're going to need to move. And you're not going to want them to have to move all of that stuff. Number three, we want to research and choose a reputable moving company. This is a big one. Getting a company that is reputable. So that means you're going to have to do a little research. I want to talk to you about how to do that when we get back. Hold on.
What if you really could have it all?
At Exit Realty,
We believe
the home you want
is right there.
right there.
And we'll help you find it.
You can count on us.
And you thought we just sold real estate.
We are Exit Realty. Think smart.
Think Exit.
Okay, so the word is research and choose. Research is extremely important. I encourage you, when you find that company or you think you found that company, go to the Better Business Bureau website and see what they say about them. Look at online reviews, and you have to be careful sometimes with those because sometimes companies pad those. But try to look as many different sources as you can and find out other people's experience. Even Google just specifically, how can I find tell me the tips to finding a reputable moving company. That could be a whole show in itself. Again, checking for those reviews, asking for a recommendation from someone who has actually done it, and verifying. This is important. Verifying that they have licensing, FMCSA, for interstate moves. So if you're moving from Atlanta to New York or wherever you're going outside of the state of Georgia, you want to make sure that these people are reputable and are licensed. Those reviews and recommendations are important because if they stole stuff or damaged stuff, they didn't make it right with their customers, you already know in advance what you may be dealing with. And ask them about those negative comments. And I would just say, do your research because there are a lot of scams out there for this as well. And that's why number 4 is important, to watch out for those scams. You want to avoid companies that demand these large upfront deposits. If somebody wants to walk away with all of your money or a large portion of it upfront, that is a red flag. And if they're providing vague estimates, it may be between $500 to $1,500. Whatever they're saying, you want it exactly, because you don't want any last minute changes. And so you want to make sure that you are getting a company that is not a scam, and you can just Google moving company scams and they will give you the red flags to look for. I'm just giving you a quick overview, and I'm telling you it's extremely important. You don't want to put all of your valuables in someone else's hands only to find out they're damaged, destroyed, or stolen. And then you're getting this exorbitant fee to get your stuff back where they hold it hostage. Their stories are out there. Look them up. Do your research. And number 5 is get a detailed written estimate. Choose binding or not to exceed estimates to avoid hidden fees and unexpected costs. So when you get that detailed estimate on how much it's going to cost, and they say it's going to cost you $2,500 to move all of this stuff from here to there, wherever there is, you want to make sure that if there's something else that comes up, that $2,500 would not exceed 1%, 2%, whatever you come up with, and that this is the final and best offer, and there are not going to be any hidden fees or unexpected costs. You need to make sure, because you don't want someone taking an upfront fee, a large one sometimes, and then when you get it, they get it to your destination, then they come up with a whole list of other fees and amounts of money that you owe them and hold your information. I mean, not your information, but the contents of your home hostage for you to pay them. Please Google moving company scams, moving company red flags. Look up. I could do shows and shows on this. I want you to make sure that you look up that information prior to you even starting to look for a company to help you, because it happens over and over again, and I don't want it to happen to you. So that is the first part of this series of Moving Made Easy, 10 essential tips for a smooth transition after selling your home. In part 1, we've just discussed preparing for the move and avoiding scams. We're going to create, number 1, a moving plan and a timeline. Number 2, we're going to declutter and downsize before we start packing. Number 3, we're going to research, and choose a reputable moving company. Number 4, we're going to watch out for scams. And number 5, we're going to get a detailed written estimate of the cost so that we don't have any unexpected fees. So we're going to talk about in part 2. I hope you will join us after you like, share, and subscribe this video. We're going to talk about choosing the right services and reducing moving stress. I'll see you then. Here's our contact information. Please reach out to us, and I'll see you in the next show.